was good to talk to you as well, man. Thank you. Um, you were my first official international interview for this record, so
Oh wow,
well
I'm on
done.
it, dude.
Well done, son.
How you been keeping, buddy? You been doing well?
Been doing well, Lee. Thanks very much. The family's all healthy. The kids have adapted to the virtual school situation here in Nashville, which they've been on virtual this entire school year. And,
Oh wow.
it presents some challenges technically sometimes, but, my wife and I are just kind of giving them all of our focus and, any help we can provide. We're just, man, keeping them engaged. And it's an incredible time, brother, in world history for sure.
It certainly is, man. How old are your kids now?
Well, these are my two youngest because I have three older kids from my first marriage, but
Yeah.
uh, Gabriel is 16 and Jolene is 12.
So important years school-wise then.
Definitely, man. It's a real shame that they're having to have, some important years in their development under these circumstances.
Yeah, it's like you say, it's a strange time for us all, dude. It certainly is.
No doubt, mate.
But in the midst of it, you're all set to release Battle Lessons on the February 19th. Sorry. Obviously, that follows Memoirs of an Uprising. How would you say it differs from the previous album, Memoirs of an Uprising?
Well, I guess a couple of obvious differences are, the lineup of the band is now it's just a trio,
Sure.
and I think that's kind of what I had always envisioned, uh, going back to when I first started thinking of moving forward with my solo career full time. Um, and I think the other major difference too is at this time, Nick Raskulinecz was in the producer chair uh, more than just mixing it. Nick mixed my last record, but
Mm.
Lee, I cannot overstate the thrill for me, just the joy to go through the entire process with Nick from top to bottom this time. I have so much respect for him.
Oh,
He's
he's a
obviously
fantastic producer, Nick. He's produced some
indeed.
of my favorite records. So
I feel the same way, buddy. So again, it's just a thrill to, I'm grateful for my friendship with Nick most of all, but certainly the working relationship, and we have a good interaction about us. He never hesitates, to call me on the carpet with either I need to work on a lyric, or I need to come in with a better arrangement, or this guitar tone isn't right, or um, he really pushed me a lot vocally
oh,
this
cool.
time, which I was happy to have that. Probably more than anything, man, it's great to have someone listening to the
Yeah.
vocal delivery in the studio.
So like you say, Nick has obviously brought mixed Memoirs Uprising, worked more intensely with it. Obviously, worked within Black Star Riders as well. But what do you think he particularly brought to the table this time round with Battle Lessons? Was it so, just pointing you and kicking your backside and making you pushing you harder, or
Well, Nick and I've worked together now for so long that he, uh, you know, by proxy, as they say, he influences my songwriting even before I play the songs for him. I've learned a lot from Nick about arrangements over the years. The first record we did together was the Killer Instinct Black Star Riders,
yeah, of course.
and it was just an incredible learning process for me to just be in the room and watch him work and hear the things he would say to the drummer, hear the things he would suggest with arrangements. Uh, he is so passionate about every process of of every step of the process. He's a huge fan of. I mean, obviously, man, he's just the biggest hard rock music fan on the planet. So, he loves to work on the drums. He loves to get great guitar sounds. And, he has such a great collection of amps that really, I only brought, I think, two of my amps to the studio. And, we used a multitude of different gear. So he's just got great stuff to choose from. So that's a big part of getting to work with Nick.
I think with just from a listener's point of view, certainly, like I say, Nick's produced some of my favourite albums from Foo Fighters and Alice in Chains and Mastodon and stuff. And the one thing that rides throughout all those bands is every album I've known Nick to produce has had been a real driving force behind it. They're not so laid back; they're all full frontal, guttural kind of like that. You say, that hard rock sound that Nick's known for. So definitely excited for this album when I hear the rest of it, man.
Yeah, man. Well, you said the key thing, hard rock. I knew I knew that I wanted this to be a hard rock record. It's absolutely the heaviest record I've personally ever made. Um, it's heavier top to bottom than the Brother Kane stuff.
Yeah.
Um, you know, Looking back on my time with Black Star Riders, which I love and am so proud of, there were heavy songs like, Soldier's Town and Killer Instinct, and, a lot of tempo, Heavy Fire, the title track, songs like that. The Battle Lessons album is chock full of that stuff, and you'll sense that immediately, when you get to hear the whole thing.
I mean, we've already obviously released the title track as a single last week, and I've already played it on the radio show. Man, what a fantastic song, man! That's absolutely brilliant. Do you think it's a good indication of the rest of the album then?
100%, buddy. Thank you, by the way, for playing the record.
Hey, no problem, man. I just play music I love.
Yeah, man. Tempo, tempo and riffs right up front. Memoirs of an Uprising was a personal album from a lyrical standpoint. I'd come up with a lot of themes and a lot of things I wanted to say. And that record will always hold a special place in my heart. And it was a big step, obviously, for my solo career.
Of course.
But Battle Lessons, it was, the main focus, man, was guitar, riffs, tempo, energy within the guys with the band. And, I can't overstate the feeling I had the day I played the demos for Nick, and to see him get so excited. He immediately said, "Hey, buddy, wow, these are what he said, quote, was, these are some of my favorite songs you've ever written."
Wow.
And wow, for him to say that to a guy that's been writing songs for, Jesus, Lee, almost 3 decades now, man. It's I came home very excited, to tell the wife and kids, hey, Nick wants to do the record. So really grateful to him.
That's awesome, man. Are you saying that the lineup is now, you got your power trio, as it were, behind it with you got Jared Pope, obviously, from Tom Kiefer on drums, and Robbie Harrington on bass. How did they come to be involved with the project? Are you known the guys a long time, or?
Yeah, I've known them a long time, Lee. It's almost funny that both of these guys, when we first met, we were playing in country bands way back. Yeah, like in the mid 2000s. I was in a band called Whiskey Falls, and Whiskey Falls was basically 4 guys, and it was more about the vocal harmonies and that kind of thing. But Jared was friends with the 2 guys in the band that were from California, so that's how I met Jared, was through that. And he came on the road with us and toured with us for about a year, off and on. So I could tell immediately that he was special. I loved how he played. And I think the first day, we started talking about music, and it was clear that, as much as we enjoyed being in the band we were in at the time, but we were both rock guys. Our main focus was playing rock music. So, Jared and I just stayed in touch through the years. And so he moved to Nashville shortly after I did in 2013. So it was just destiny for us to,
stars finally aligned.
Yeah, totally, man. So in that same time period that I met Jared, it's the first time I crossed paths with Robbie Harrington. And, Robbie, he's from Texas originally. He had spent some time in Los Angeles back in the early 90s when everyone was kind of trying to get their rock and roll career off the ground. And he spent a little time with some pretty, heavy characters. I know he auditioned for Ozzy's band.
Ah,
Uh,
cool.
he he did some gigs with Steve Vai, did some gigs with Richie Kotzen.
Nice.
So and then he moved his family to Nashville, and one of the first gigs he got, man, was he was playing bass for Keith Urban, who I'm sure you guys have heard of
Oh
over
yeah,
there.
definitely.
And then when I met him in 2008, he was playing bass for Dierks Bentley. And, man, I could just tell by how he played. He just had a cool factor that was substantial. And I remember I said it to Jared. I said, man, that guy's not a country bass player. That guy's a rock player. And so sure enough, we had an opportunity to meet a couple of days later. And, um, I've just kept in touch with Robbie. So I needed a bass player for some shows. It's been now about a year ago, and Robbie was my first call, and I'm thrilled that over the last year he's become a member of my band, and so now here we are, man, the trio in the spirit of ZZ Top or Stevie Ray and Double Trouble or Nirvana or whoever else you wanna think of, man. We love it as a trio.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bass player myself, so I always listen out for that low end in the song. And I wasn't too familiar with Robbie as a player before, but man, the driving bass line certainly on the title track anyway. Yeah, I can see why you picked him.
Thanks, mate. I'll certainly pass that along to him. And again, Lee, I cannot wait for you to hear the entire album. Um, it's a significant statement for me as an artist, as a songwriter, as a singer, guitarist. I cannot possibly be more proud. I knew the songs were good, going in,
Yeah.
but I I mean, I'm still listening to the record myself. You know, I'm not tired of it yet. When I go out for my walks, I put on the headphones and just crank it up, man. I'm really excited about
No, it's a good sign if you're not tired of it yet, mate.
it. Yeah, yeah. Seriously, seriously.
It's funny that you mentioned your back catalogue though. There's a project of yours I hadn't listened to until this week actually. We played Battle Lessons on the radio, and a buddy of mine, James, who's a big fan of yours as well, was like, Lee, did you actually ever hear the Slave to the System project? And I was like, no, I never heard that first time round. So I've been listening to the Slave to the System album this week, and I don't know why I missed out on it, man. That's a great record.
Thank you very much, Lee. Very, very proud of that record, and it did not get the attention that it certainly deserved because it's quality. The songwriting.
Yeah,
Um,
amazing
you know,
songs on it. Songs like Cruise Out of Control, I really liked, and Abyss and Live This Life. They were all fantastic songs, and I just thought, I've been a fan of your work for a long time, Damon, and I just thought, why have I not heard this album before?
well, you'll find this really interesting. Is as we speak, my partner in that band was Kelly Gray, who's done a lot of work with Queensryche over the years.
Yeah.
So I don't think the album is available any longer in full on the major streaming sites, Spotify and Apple Music and all of that. So Kelly is remastering that record as we
Oh, cool.
speak. And once I kind of get through this, promo time period for the new Battle Lessons record, we're going to give some attention to, getting that on the sites and maybe doing a little bit of press around it just to remind people that it exists. And because it's a quality album. It was a great moment in time that we captured. And, um, you know, selfishly, Kelly and we always talk about, man, we should do another record.
Yeah,
We should do another record. And as you know, Lee, records take time, and
certainly. Yeah.
everyone's time is so valuable, and it's just a challenge to clear the schedule. But who knows, man? In these days that we're living in right now, some of us have more time on our hands than we really like, so we want to make the best of it. So definitely looking forward to getting those remastered versions of the songs out.
Cool. I hope that happens. I'll keep my eye out for that for sure. And if any of our listeners are listening and haven't heard that Slave to the System project, I'd strongly urge you guys go and do it because I've only heard it this week and it's a phenomenal record.
Thank you, Lee.
No, not a problem. But anyway, going back to the present, as it were. Other than the title track itself, are there any songs on the album that you're particularly excited for people to hear when it's released?
Yes. I think, let's see, today I'm going through the dates in my head. I guess this Friday, which would be the 22nd, I think there'll be a second track available on all the digital sites. It's a song called Can't Clap Any Louder. Um, Maybe my favorite song on the record.
Oh, cool.
One of the first songs that my friend Jim and I wrote together for this batch of songs. And uh, there's just a uniqueness in its arrangement. It's in your face, similar tempo and energy as Battle Lessons, but it's a unique lyric, and the arrangement just sounds like something I've never heard before. So really excited about that. There's another special track called Shadow Country. It was inspired by a book written by the great Peter Matheson that I read last year, and lots of tempo shifts within the song. It's a little more of an epic. It clocks in at just over 5 minutes, and it's a showcase for the band. Just incredible drumming by Jared on that song. And then you get into side two, there's another track called Let the Healing Begin. Really heavy, more of I don't know. People say Black Sabbathy, and
Okay, yeah.
it can be such a cliche, but it definitely has that kind of heavy groove, Bill Ward kind of drum
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, excited for. I mean, I love the whole record, but as you asked, those are the three that come to mind for
Yeah.
sure.
I must admit, man, I got the album on pre-order, and I can't wait for it to land with me based on the title track alone. So I'm really excited for that one to land through my letterbox, as it were.
Right on, mate. Well, we're excited for you to receive it.
Then I say it's strange times at the minute, but what does the rest of the year hold for you and the album and the guys?
There's no question that we're as hopeful as anyone else that there'll be some opportunities for us to actually go out and perform some live dates. Um, I don't know what it's like over there, but here, everyone is certainly shifting the focus on to some outdoor settings to where, you know, it's you can instantly be a little safer as it relates to the coronavirus, if you're performing an outdoor situation. So, man, we're hopeful for the spring, certainly the summer. Um, we're just going to do all that we can right now to bring as much attention to the album as possible. I definitely intend to make at least one, maybe two more videos for some other tracks. And, you know, just do everything that we can as independent artists to spread the word about what we're doing. And, we're certainly grateful to people like yourselves that are fans of hard rock, that have an audience yourself. We're really grateful to you for spreading the word, mate.
Oh man, I'm just happy that all I ever do, like anyone I ever get the opportunity to speak to, it's just a case I just press play on music I love and music I enjoy, man. There's no need, nothing more than that, brother.
Well, I'm just so confident in the positive reaction you're going to have to the full record, Lee. Uh, and just my little fan base in general, man. I don't have 500,000 fans, but the people that are familiar with my work and my career and kind of my history in different settings, different bands, there's no question that this is a statement for me, and people will recognize that straight away. And we're just it feels good, man, to be releasing a group of songs that I feel so confident about.
I think anyone who's seen you before, Damon, will agree with me on this. And whether it was seeing you with Black Star Riders or seeing you solo or seeing you, and you and Ricky and Warwick, you and Ricky Warwick did you at the acoustic shows that I saw, or seeing you with Thin Lizzy. And I'm sure when I see you, hopefully when you get over to the UK with this, whatever you do, man, you always do with passion and conviction. And I think that's what shines through always, man.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, mate. I'm just trying to kind of put out that same energy that my heroes that I looked up to as a young musician and a young music fan, that definitely informed the energy, I guess, in my brain and in my, I guess, my dreams. Like, wow, what if I could do that myself? And I don't want to ever lose that. So that's a great compliment. Thank you for saying that.
No, that's yeah, absolutely fine. So speaking of heroes, there, I mean, I didn't realise until recently that it was yourself and a few songwriters you were working with that wrote "Just Feel Better." I mean, I'm a huge Aerosmith fan, and I was familiar with the rendition with Santana and Steven Tyler, of course. But then I bought your release album from the merch stand when I saw you and Ricky Warwick doing your acoustic shows, and that was the first time I was actually aware that you were behind the writing team behind that song. So thank you for that.
Yeah, man. You know, it's such a what an honor, without a question. It was a huge honor that to have Carlos and then him to invite Steven to come and sing it. Um, you know, you just can't manufacture those kinds of situations. You know, it was like a what you can imagine how I felt getting the phone call that day that you know that Carlos loved the song and that he was going to ask Steven to sing it, and really proud. What a beautiful lyric. You know, there's a lot of power in the storytelling in that lyric, and I always enjoy performing that at at my solo shows, and just really grateful to be a part of the creation of such a special song.
Definitely, man. It's one of my favorites. So thank you for penning it.
Cheers, mate.
So we'll be playing Battle Lessons at the beginning of the interview. But what song would you like us to play at the end of the interview?
Um, I tell you what we'll do, Lee. I will if I can get you a link, you know, it's like a digital. It's kind of like a private link that I've gotten from my digital distributor. I can just send you this link, and it's got the entire album on it.
Okay, cool.
Would
That'd be
you,
amazing.
could you play one of the songs from that link?
Yeah, of course I can.
Okay, fantastic. Well, then why don't yeah, man, why don't you just go ahead and maybe play that song "Let the Healing Begin." You know, it shows a different energy, but still heavy, still powerful, big chorus, big guitars.
Oh, cheers, man. Thanks very much. Yeah, you got yourself a deal.
Great. Yeah, I'll get with Linda and I'll make sure that we get that to you, mate, for sure.
That's fantastic. Damon, thank you for your time, man. This has been an absolute honor.
Lee, thank you, buddy. Listen, I'm grateful. You know, please say hello to all the rock fans over there, man. I can't wait for things to evolve and change and us be able to get to the UK and play some shows, man. I miss playing over there. I love it there. Uh, Big fan of the United Kingdom, man. It's been really good to me, and I love the people. I love the culture, and can't wait to come back.
We can't wait to have you back, man. I can't wait to see you live again, dude.
All right, brother. Thank you for your time, Lee.
Thank you, man. Take care of yourself.
All the best. Speak to you soon.
Speak soon, man. Take care.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.